Hello everyone, welcome to the Kyborg demo, or Keyborg. I don't know, it is a demo, and it is strictly a combat demo, so this is something you want to keep in mind before you try it. I saw the trailer during Realms Deep. It looks really cool, but the demo really just focuses on showing you a lot of kind of, well, I mean, I guess combat, just combat. And honestly, I wasn't really sold on it at first because I like things more than combat than games, but combat is going to be a major selling point for any game that involves it. So when I downloaded it, I was like, well, I don't know, and then I just kept playing it because it is actually quite a blast to play. The combat kind of reminds me a little bit of the Arkham series, just with the way combos work. But there's not really a counter attack like you would see in like Arkham Knight or Arkham City. What you do have is a bit of a roll that you can use. You do have a block and a parry if you do it at just the right time. We'll see if I can pull it off. You can't do it for when they're attacking red. But anyway, the combat has been, so far it's been really enjoyable. I like the whole gladiator style aspect of the demo. I think it does a great job of really showcasing what the combat's going to be. You have a lot going on. You've got these cool little special effects. You know what? Special attacks you can do. And you also have, combo attacks. It's just really, really nicely done. Like I said, the combat is really satisfying. The gunplay, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I've been, like, super impressed with the gunplay. It is there, it happens. And I've seen, like, a couple of different weapons that you can pick up, but I haven't really been impressed with too many of them at all. The melee weapons, I think, are much, much better than your physical, or than your, ranged weaponry. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of variety in it, because it certainly feels like it. There's a lot going on here. That guy was a lot easier to beat than I thought he was going to be. It seemed like there was going to be a lot more complications to that, but... But yeah, the most recent game that this would remind me of is really Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights was a game that wasn't really great, so I feel bad kind of saying that this kind of makes me think of it a little bit. The combat in Gotham Knights eventually was pretty good as you leveled up your character and everything, but it just kind of fell flat story-wise. This game definitely feels like it has a very, very solid foundation for the combat. So if the story is good, man, I'm in. This is a game that I will be very much looking forward to playing. For the right price, I would be willing to play it just for the whole aspect of, beating people up with, my fists. Come on, start electrocuting him. There we go. But I find this to be really awkward because it doesn't really kind of stay in an area that is easy for you to, I guess, keep the enemies in. Yeah, that's why you don't bring a club to a gunfight, my dude. But there are a lot of different melee weapons. They're really big game changers, I would say, because you're gonna do way more combat than you would with your fists, which is, you know, seems realistic. So you definitely don't get any complaints from me about the melee combat. Like I said, I think it's really well done. I think the finishing moves are nice as well. I like that it's going to give me kind of an option on what I want to upgrade here. Distant attacks? Nah, we'll do this one. The Gaussian revolver seems to be like a good choice. My dude also kind of looks like Max Payne for Max Payne, the third one. Kind of sad that I'm gonna break this so early. I was hoping to actually use it on this guy right here, but I gotta get rid of these additional ads. There's been a lot of variety with, you know, the bosses and the fights. Like, I mean, I just died, but I mean, the whole time it was really enjoyable. And then you get all these achievements at the end, which is nice. And then you go back to the main menu, decide that you're going to upgrade your character so you can do a better job next time. So as you can see, I've kind of done a couple of these. And some of them have multiple kind of drops. And you can look and see what they are before you do it, so that is kind of cool. So kind of depending on how you want to do it, it looks like is going to be kind of up to you and what you want to do. I didn't really see any elite items or weapons really drop as I have played. Well, that's not true. I think I've seen it a couple of times, but I like the upgrade system. It definitely gives you a little depth on what you want to do. There's a lot of things that are added that are good. These, you know, random drops are good. I wish the drops would be a little bit more. Obviously, that's a little bit too much. But 20% by 20% seems like that would do us a pretty good job. And I liked it in the demo, they're letting you jump, you know, between the floors a little bit quicker. You don't have to necessarily wait until you get to the very end. And I just picked the wrong weapons, but that's okay. This will be my last one. I don't really feel like doing a long video for this because what is there to do? It's just combat. And I don't think I'd do a good enough job at combat for anybody to just, you know, be here to watch me just kind of beating into things like non-stop. There's got to be a little bit more to a game for me to do a long demo like that, just because, you know, I'm basically putting on a show, and I, you know, just can't make it good enough to entertain people for a really long time. But I hope at a minimum I can show that the combat is fast, is furious, it's actually tons of fun. Way better than any of those Fast and Furious movies. You know, on account of me saying Fast and Furious. Can I say that? Can I compare this to the Fast and the Furious? I mean, you are a person. The story currently doesn't make any sense because I don't know what it is, and the story in my brain is that I am a man who used to bake cakes, and I came here, and now I'm in this location. I'm beating the crap out of people because I was too poor to be Batman and too good of a baker to stay on Earth. I could be on Earth. I don't know. I didn't actually look into any of the story. And you might ask yourself, well, why didn't you look into the story? And I would tell you it's because I just wanted to play the game because it looked like it was a ton of fun. And it is, so it's really like a win-win. Yeah, it's really amazing like how satisfying the combat has been. I don't think all of these, you know, attacks that you have, your special abilities are, you know, that great, but I imagine it'll just, you know, change over time. Maybe you'll get something else. Oh, there's a parry. I finally did one. The parry doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. I mean, it kind of stuns him a little bit. But it's not, like, overall something that's amazing to do. I like how you get money, basically, for every time you shoot somebody or hit somebody. So it's not just defeating an enemy, it is just being successful at combat. I made it to floor 8, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Like I said, this has been a pretty cool experience. I've really enjoyed it. I like the combat. I like it a lot. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the game is going to be about. You know, like, 'cause I don't really know what the story is. I feel pretty positive that if the story is, you know, really good and entertaining, it's going to be a really, really positive experience. Otherwise, the combat might kind of carry it through, you know, the whole game, but my hope is that the story is equally awesome compared to the combat, because the combat is fantastic. We just need a good story to kind of follow along. You know, because I want to know why I'm beating these people up. Like, what did they do? Did they hurt my dog? Am I basically a futuristic John Wick? Because I could be, I suppose. It would probably be a better story than, like, my whole, I used to be a baker and then I decided not to bake anymore. And we got a hidden enemy. Well, not hidden, but, you know, they were invisible for a little bit. A cloaking enemy. Yeah, I'm also not sure, like, how I feel about some of these stuff here. Like, there are some moments where, you know, there's the enemies that are kind of popping up. Like on the platforms over here. head and they shoot at you. I'm not a big fan of that. Alright, so this guy likes to go eat other people, but where is he now? Yeah, I don't like these enemies. You gotta time it just right. So it's basically for these guys, you don't do anything, you wait until you can block, and then you beat them up. And enemies will punch right through each other. I mean, I get it. I understand the whole point of it, but it just seems kind of weird. You know, if I was driving a car, you know, it's not gonna just ignore people that I like. It's gonna hit everybody in the way. You know, so that's why you gotta be careful when you're driving a car. Well, we had a good run, but I think we are at the point where I am going to unfortunately meet my demise. And I did. Look at him. He's full scorpion. Well, that was a fun time. I really enjoy Keyborg or Kyborg or whatever the game's called. However you pronounce it. It's definitely gone up to like one of my most anticipated games. Simply because it is quite enjoyable. The combat is just an absolute ton of fun, and that's kind of something that's very, very... Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I was going to say, but it's basically something that I'm really cool with existing is, you know, something that has some really awesome combat. So there's Keyborg, Kyborg, whatever. If you like what you saw, please go wishlist the game or try the demo yourself on Steam. And aside from that, I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for coming by.